too, like the color will come back in the face with
Oh,
the
yeah.
I mean, this is one of the most exciting treatments.
I imagine so.
Yeah. So I know you've been there when you were mine. Yes. Now, let me tell you an interesting story. Stevenson's story. When he was 8 years old. Well, I never got to finish the one when he was 5 for this class. I said his father's sitting in a bucket of water, feet in the water, and his mother was called to go take care of someone in the village. So that he said, I was between my father and the fireplace, and he said, I walked up behind my father, and I took my little thumb. He's only 5 years old, and he said, in the lower back here, he says, I went like that. He said, I can't tell you what prompted me to do this, but I did it. He said, my father jumped up and turned around and cussed me. Swore at him. And then he realized that he was all right. He's sitting there with sciatica, see, and his mother had his feet in a tub of warm water. And he realized he's all right, so he got his dinner bucket and went to work. And when his mother come back, she says, where's your father? He says, he went to work. Now, that's one of the earliest recollections of Stephenson doing this work. Now, at 8 years of age, he said, we were called, my family, to go, and a lot of the members went in what you call an open frame wagon, hay wagon in this country, he says. Sat on this and went 16 miles away to the village where the woman was told by the doctor she's 31 years of age. She's dying. She's in coma for over a month already, and dying of heart trouble. The doctor said nothing can be done, everything's been done, and that's it. So the family of that woman, she had a number of children, called for all the friends and people to come and pray for this mother's welfare, this one lying in this dire strait. So he said when we got there, the house was full of people standing, praying. And he said the only place given for me to kneel was right here at the head where he knelt, this little boy, 8 years old. And he said, evidently, when everyone else had their eyes shut and their mouth open praying, I must have had my mouth shut and my eyes open, because he said, I remember looking at this condition you say, Beth. Her lips were clear blue, her fingers blue, and she was drawing just the barest visible breath, very shaky. And then he said, I again would never be able to say what caused me to do it. But he said, nobody's paying any attention to me anyway. He said, I sneaked my hand in under the covers and I started to massage like this. 8 years old. And he said, as I kept working, I saw her eyelids flutter. And the color began to come back in the lips and the face and the hands. And he kept on working. He says, nobody's watching me anyway. They're all praying. So he says, after a little, she opened her eyes. And then he said the room became hushed for a moment, because everybody that saw this, knew she was asleep all these weeks and couldn't be wakened. For a moment it was quiet, and then he said they began to praise the Lord in a loud voice. Rejoice. And he said, still I kept working away. Nobody paying attention to me. And now she got stronger yet. He said I could see the breath coming, with good power. And she raised her arm and hand. And he said, then it got hushed again. And then she announced, she says, you people feel your prayers have been answered. She says, they have. She says, this little boy's done something for me, and I'm going to get well. So that when he left, he's 8, he left when he's 38 to come to America. She's still living. See? She got back with a family, 5 children or whatever. She was needed, he said. And that's the 8-year-old story. His earliest recollection of this treatment. Now, he said, I couldn't have told anybody what I was doing. He didn't have any intention himself. He's just following a natural inclination. And I know that he felt it was a holdover from former experience, that he was well into. This was the first chance. So that it was true, as his parents or people would announce occasionally that the doctor said so-and-so is given up, nothing can be done, can't live, and he'd chirp up and say, no, that's not so in this case. Not every case. Not every one that was said about. Just the occasional one, and what governed that I have no idea. But then they'd take him to him and he'd do something and they'd get well.
How old was he then?
Well, I say
Onward.
5 and 8, and from then on.